big part. Okay, guys, so continuing from last week, remember last week, kind of as of last week, we went into a slightly new phase, meaning we're going to be changing our training up. And today's Get Bent is a little bit more specific, okay, in that we are building towards a back bridge, back bend, okay? So that means a lot of shoulders and obviously a spine. And then we have the middle split as well. Like, fear not, we're going to be taking small steps at a time, okay? So as always, we're going to start with a little bit of a spinal care first, okay, just to kind of get the spine moving and whatnot. And then as we get a little bit kind of a warmer, we're going to get a little bit progressive, then finish on some back bridge type of work and middle split. So from here, what we're going to do is just standing nice and tall. We're going to go into a simple flexion extension. So that's basically me saying, backwards and forwards kind of thing, movement at the spine. What I would love for you to kind of do is take a nice wide stance, okay? Toes are fairly forward. And what we're going to start to do is we're going to tuck our chin onto the chest first. And then we want to try round the upper back as much as possible. And then slowly articulate each vertebrae to come down towards the ground as low as we can. You may touch the ground, you may not touch the ground, that's all good. Take a slight pause at the bottom, and then slowly keeping the legs straight, we're going to reverse engineer. So starting from the lower to mid to upper, and then the last thing to come up is our head. And we're just going to simply repeat this process, okay? So let's just kind of go nice and simple, nothing too crazy. Okay, this is not fast whatsoever. Okay, just taking it simple. Okay, so the whole idea behind this kind of movement, especially at the start, is that we're taking a little bit of a stock. Okay, taking stock of what's moving, what's not moving. Okay, what's feeling good, what's not feeling so good. And we're doing this in a slow manner, so that way we can then refine or focus on one specific area. Okay, after your third or fourth rep, maybe challenge yourself to see how slow can you go, okay? So one rep that you're going to just kind of almost feel like you're not moving. That's how slow you're going to go. Okay. When you're done there, we're going to go into nice and simple. Same thing, we're going to still stick to the spine. However, this time what we're going to do is just focus on just like the upper, okay? So think, okay, everything just above the rib cage, okay? So stuff that doesn't like to move often. In order to do this, what we'll do is we'll bend our knees quite generously, okay? So effectively what we want to do is have the feet roughly under the hips, give or take, knees are bent. That way the hips are not going to be moving whatsoever, okay? With that, we're not going to allow the lower back to round as well. Okay, so what I want to think about here is we're going to tuck the chin onto the chest like the way we did. And then I want you to just round and allow the weight of the head, the shoulders to roll as far forward as possible. So you feel this in the upper to mid back. And then slowly picking ourselves up, pushing that chest forward, lifting the head up and the chest up to the ceiling. Same thing again, nice and slow. So you'll find that your shoulder blades will want to wrap around the rib cage as you come forward. And they probably want to squeeze together and meet together at the top as you look up and reach up to the ceiling. Remember, chin tucks in, round the upper back. I like to have my fingers just run up and down my thighs. That way, just kind of, I know where I am. Okay, so with every rep as I round, I'm not forcing myself, but I sort of kind of start to see or feel if I'm making any progress, if I'm actually reaching a little bit further. And the answer may be no, and that's totally fine as well. Let's get one more rep in there. Remember, bend your knees generously. Okay, after you've done that, okay, don't rush into it. We're going to go into a little bit of Simon Says, okay? So we're going to go into a little bit of lateral flexion, okay? So effectively what we'll do here, guys, is so everybody's on the same page. We'll take our right leg, bring it in front of us and step across that left leg, okay? Now, my right leg is bent and, it's there to kind of help me stabilize, okay? So I shouldn't be losing balance. Now from here, the side, okay, the left side is the side that we're going to be working on. So what we'll do is the left hand is going to come behind the head, and then the right hand is going to just simply lead down towards the ground. Okay, so we're going to reach as far forward as possible. And then we're going to slowly just come up and stand nice and tall. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. So what I want you to think about now is as you lead, let the weight of your head drop to the right side. Let the shoulders, the right shoulder, drop to the floor. And obviously your hands are reaching as far down as possible. And then slowly up. I'm just going to repeat this process. Now, as we do this, I want you to visualize there is a wall in front of you and a wall behind you. So we shouldn't be really arching our back or anything like that. So from side views, we're not falling forwards. Think about shooting your hips straight to the side and then getting that elbow nice and proud up to the ceiling and over. So we're creating this arc movement at the top as we are reaching down towards the ground with our bottom hand. Now you may find, okay, left hip, the straight leg side, you can shoot that hip across to the other side. Okay, keep it going. So as you go to one side, really push that hip to that side as you fall and bend on the opposite. Last one. Nice and tall. And then boom. Check it off if you need to. Okay, so again, Simon Says, so our left leg will come across the right, okay? We're gonna put the right hand behind the head, then the left hand, we're gonna drop the hand, drop the shoulders, drop the head, and reach that side. And then nice and tall. Now you'll notice that, at the end of every rep at the bottom, you're going to kind of effectively spend a little bit of time. Maybe it's a second or two, just to spend a little bit quality time and attention, just to allow the body to kind of go, okay, yeah, it's all good. Okay, I feel you. Yeah, so make sure you're not whipping in and out. And maybe that in that pause, you may actually feel yourself get a little bit lower, right? Again, don't expect it. We're just trying to create the best environment for that spine to get a little bit softer, okay? For the nervous system to allow us to go a little bit further and deeper. So again, nice and slow, controlled movement. Okay, you'll find the straight leg, the back leg, in this case, the right leg, has to be firm, okay? The more stable it is, the bigger the stretch, because we're using our own torso and obviously the gravity to load everything on that top side of the spine. Now, if you're really finding the balance, okay, really hard, just simply go near a wall, okay? Or play with the front leg a little bit. Maybe it's head to the front a little bit more. Okay, whatever feels good. Let's do one more rep. Okay. Now, once we've done that, we'll hit the deck. Let me just pin my vid. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go into just a bunch of series of work just to kind of open the spine up a little bit. Okay, so this next one is bow and arrow. And for most of us who were here last week, we'll know this. Okay, pretty straightforward. We're going to be on our side to do this. Okay, now what I want to make sure is we have the knees come up a little bit high. Okay, this way. What's the best way to show you this? Okay, so this way, if my knees are not too high, okay, what can happen is I can roll, okay, and I don't want to see that happen. We want to make sure the knees are nice and high, so it helps us to block the lower back up. As far as the bow and arrow movement goes, both hands are going to be in front of us. We're going to reach the top hand a little bit more forward, and as the name implies, we're going to draw an arrow. Okay, so what that means is we're going to bend at the elbows. We're going to draw that arrow. Look at this. We're going to draw that elbow back, but when we hit that end range, we're going to drop the elbows. So from the other side, what we're going to be doing here, guys, is we're going to allow the elbows to come back, but as we kind of go back, we're going to also look to drop the elbows down towards the ground. So effectively, we're going to be looking to squeeze the shoulder blades and just look to move the rib cage. Okay, we'll do 10 reps. And again, there is this little slight pause quality in the back end. Okay, so at the end range, just have a slight pause as you try to touch the ground with your elbows. We'll go for 10 reps together. Here we go. So knees are up, hands on top of each other. We're going to reach forward and then draw that first arrow, pause, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shoulders are never anywhere near the ears, guys. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, we'll go to the other side. Okay, so again, knees are bent quite high, hands on top of each other. Make sure we're not shrugging, guys. Okay, so the ears should be nowhere near the ears. Ears should be nowhere near the ears. Ears should be nowhere near the shoulders. Okay, here we go. We're going to reach forward and draw that first arrow. Drop the elbows, take a pause, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Beautiful. Okay, so from here, we're going to go into our skydivers. And again, most of you will know this. Okay, but remember what we're trying to do here is we're trying to work our body in extension. Okay, so we effectively are going to use everything behind the body that we normally can't see. Now, it is also very, very easy to screw this up. Okay, and the way we normally do that is by allowing the lower back to just do everything. Remember, the intent here is to use everything along the back of the body. So think your upper to mid back, obviously your lower back, but your butt, your hamstrings, your calves. Okay, so what we're going to do is similar to what we did yesterday. We're just going to go to 10 reps. What we're going to do here with the hands is palms are faced up. Remember, we're going to, as we come up, we're going to be using the upper to mid back to lift the chest up. Obviously, our back is going to be working. We're going to use the butt to lift the legs clean off the ground. And I want you to imagine your fingers and your tippy toes are going to be reaching back behind you at all time. So we're being lengthened back behind us as we're lifting up. okay? Now, if you feel too much on the lower back, think about dropping the chest and think about lifting the legs higher. And the way to do that is, again, by using your butt and your legs a lot more, okay? We're going to pause for the first rep for 5 seconds. We're going to then bang out, okay? The rep's still 10 reps. The 10th rep, we're going to hold for 5 seconds again, okay? So just follow me. Here we go. Okay, we're going to turn the hands, lift the chest up, legs up. We're going to hang out here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down and up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Okay, from here, the third and last one that we're going to quickly do for our T-spine and our shoulders is our T-spine rotation, okay? Now for this, again, we're going to be in sideline position, and let's kind of do a little bit Simon said, so we can all set up together, okay? So we're going to be on our side, okay? And what I want to see happen this time is the bottom leg is going to be straight, okay? The top knee is going to be bent. Just like the start, like the bow and arrow, we're going to bring that top knee a little bit high. That way we block the lower back up. And then we're going to actually use this bottom hand to trap that that top knee. Okay, so one more time. Legs are straight, top knee comes up. We use that, okay, bottom hand to trap the top leg. Now, we've got this top hand, which is spare. What we're going to be doing here, guys, is we're going to be creating a circle. Okay, and your objective is to look at your hands as much as possible. And we're going to be looking to kind of get that hand as far away from the middle of the body as possible. Okay, so again, reaching forward in this vector. Okay, as I move, my objective is still to reach as far away from the body as possible. I'm going to look at that hand without letting this knee come off the ground. I'm going to create the circle, palms face down. I'm reaching in that vector there. I'm reaching, I'm reaching, I'm reaching. So we're effectively creating a nice big circle, okay, with straight arms. Now the whole shoulder girdle, the shoulder joint has to also kind of work here. So again, let's be mindful. Again, don't whip it. Okay, no helicopters, just slow, controlled, and notice where your shoulder joint has to articulate. Okay, so in this position here, you will have to do something funky in your shoulders. Okay, so again, just nice and simple, 10 reps per side. Top knee bent, trap that top knee. Here we go. I'm going to reach, rotate. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Okay, let's switch sides. Okay, bottom leg is straight, top knee is bent. Okay, we use the bottom hand to trap the top leg, reach away, and 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. All right. Hopefully, we're still alive. Okay. From there, quick drink of water if you need to. And then we're going to set ourselves up, okay, for a couch stretch. So, okay, if you don't have a couch, you can use a wall, okay. If you're working on a hard surface, then you probably want something underneath your knees, just to protect your knees a little bit, okay. So I'm going to use a mat here. And just so everybody's, on the same wavelength again, one of the main reasons we need to kind of look at the front of the hips, especially when it comes to back bend, is because as we go, okay, yes, we know things have to happen at the back of the body, but the front of the body needs to allow us to be able to do that as well, right? So it's not about just kind of working on the back of the body to improve our back bends, but also looking at the front of the body, in this case, the hips. So just sitting ourselves up. And we're going to be playing with a slight different protocol, okay, than what we have them in the previous blocks when we looked at couch stretch. So the same rules apply. We're going to effectively have knees as close to the wall as possible, okay, or in this case, a box, okay. So the reason for that is, okay, the closer it is as I come up, well, this is the most I can get out of my knee, right, bending. However, you can see I'm a little bit tight today. So as I posture up, if my lower back starts to arch, okay, so this is me arching because I'm super tight this morning, this is not effective, okay? So it's better off to do two things, okay? You can either back the knee off. This way, when we posture up, you can maintain, okay, ribs down and flat back. This is gonna get into the front space a lot more powerfully. Or you can keep the knees as close and you don't come as high, okay? So you can see, again, I'm maintaining this flat back, okay? So you're gonna have to choose the right thing for you, okay? I'm going to back it off a little bit and focus on tucking, okay? So posturing up, hips should be facing forward here, guys, okay? And then we're going to use the front leg to push the hips back towards the back heel, okay? Now we're gonna be spending a minute here from here. Nice and simple, nothing too crazy. So this is gonna be just into the belly of the quads right now. And then what we're gonna do at the end of this minute, okay, is we're gonna work an extension. So we're gonna go forwards a lot more. We're gonna look to kind of work the structures around, the actual hip joints or stuff that crosses the hip joint. And then like last week, we're gonna get to some pulsing motion, okay? So something critical we have to understand here, okay, is we're trying to work, obviously, the quads, right? We're trying to lengthen the quads. So in order to do that, we need to make sure everywhere else, okay, especially our spine, okay, we want to make sure we create the best environment for us to be able to do that. So we shouldn't be compensating by arching our back, or often we say flaring the rib cage up. That's basically another way of saying arching your back or lifting your chest up, right? We don't want to be extended. We shouldn't be arching. Okay, so from here, we're going to drive the hips forward, making sure the butt's on. So the glutes are coming into play to drive my hips forward. Now, as I drive my hips forward, again, I am not arching my back just yet. Okay, glutes are on. And now this is a great opportunity for you to make sure your hips are nice and square. So often what we say is push that back hip forward and the front hip back. Okay, so back hip forwards and the front hip back. So you almost kind of unwind yourself a little bit. And you may feel that pull a little bit more across the front of your thighs. Okay, and from here, just small, gentle pulses. Okay, your glutes are on all the time for 30 seconds. Here we go, and we're gonna pulse. So all we're doing here is just driving forwards and backwards, but the glutes are on in the back. So even if you just wanna, tap that ass, okay, so just to kind of make sure the glutes are coming into play, or just giving them the opportunity to do so. Okay, just last 15 seconds. So the glutes are on, this way you're not dumping into your lower back. And then slowly back it off. Boom. Okay. We'll go to the other side. Okay, so same thing, same setup. Okay, choose the setting that you want. And again, thinking about stretching like a skill, right? So don't force yourself into something. You wouldn't do strength work by just grinding it out. Well, I'm wrong there. Most people do grind it out. So find a place where it's a little bit, you can feel you're in control, okay? From here, we're gonna spend the first minute using that front leg to push yourself back, okay? So again, rib cage is down, lower back is flat as it can be. Remember, you can reach back with your hands, maybe find whatever's behind you as well. So just, you have this tangible awareness, kind of something you can use to create awareness around how close you are to your heel. If you are comfortably touching your bum on the heel, okay, keep that contact, then push your hips forward, right? For majority of us, okay, if we don't have the contact, we're continuing to work towards pushing ourselves back. Okay, slowly driving the hips forward, okay? Again, without arching the back. So my butt's on the back leg side. Glutes are always on. I'm squaring the hips up. So again, reminder, front hip forward, back hip. Okay, so again, front hip forward. Hang on, back hip forward, front hip back. Okay, keeping that, we're gonna pulse. Again, make sure the butt's on. Okay, so even when you pulse, make sure you're not allowing your lower back to arch. Glutes are on all the time. And then slowly back it off. Boom. Okay, so you can shake your legs off. Okay, we'll just give the lower body a little bit of rest. We're gonna go to the upper body and we're just gonna work on our shoulder extension. Okay, so that's our ability to take our hands back behind us. So in the last block, we did a bunch of tabletops, dynamic saw, static saw, and whatnot. We're gonna just work simple, straightforward isometrics, okay? So just kind of holding it for 30 seconds. And what we'll do is we'll split the work into 2 times 30 seconds. Now, tabletops, just as a reminder, remember the way we like to do it is fingers pointed back so the shoulders are in external rotation, obviously the hands back behind us, okay? From here, we lift the chest up, okay? That's another way of saying we squeeze the shoulder blades, and then it's not the belly coming up, it's the hips coming up, okay? So it's not the belly coming up because we tend to arch from our lower back. You remember your glutes are into play. Now from here, look at this. You're gonna be hurting your shoulders, your wrists, your elbows potentially if you keep the weight in the back of your hands like this. So think about using your legs to pull yourself forward so you create some space in the shoulders to lift even more, okay? So that's our normal tabletop. Well, the invitation here, okay, in this particular block is rather than the bent knee variation, so you can still do bent knee variation, okay? Rather than bent knee variation, you are welcome to do straight-legged variation, okay? Which is basically, we're gonna come up, we're going to take our legs forward, okay? Bum is still onto play. And again, I'm looking to squeeze the shoulder blades. My eyes are gazed to the ceiling, okay? So again, just a gentle reminder, doesn't matter which variation you pick, the weight should be more onto your legs. That way you can focus on pushing the world away, opening the shoulders up, so you're in control, okay? 30 seconds. Fingers are spread as always. Okay, remember, closer to the hands, the harder it is, so choose the right setting for you. We're gonna bring the bum up and we'll officially go in 3, 2, 1. Okay. So in these isometrics, you have the opportunity to make these small adjustments and refinement. And that happens by bringing awareness to what is happening, where from, how much, and that sort of thing. Legs are firm, glutes are on. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Think about the weight distribution. Okay, bum is up, not the tummy. Keep it going. 3, 2, 1. Slowly down. We'll have a quick rest and we'll go again. But this set, what we're going to do, guys, is the fingers were pointed back in the last one. This time, we're going to have the fingers pointed forwards. Now, again, because the hand is back behind us, we're still going to be in extension, okay? However, this orientation of hand being forward now means my shoulder joints at the top is more of an internal rotation. Now, this is a position that most people get pissed off at, okay? So again, be mindful. The idea here is to spend quality time under tension. So that means figure out for you what's the right place, what's the right width, okay? Remember, you can always bend your knees to deload this as well, okay? So 30 seconds. We shall go in 5, 4, 3, 2, and time starts, okay? Again, my head is lifted to the ceiling. My butt is on, legs are straight, pushing that world away from the hands through to the shoulders. Keep lifting the bum up. Keep lifting the bum up. Squeezing the shoulder blades as much as possible. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Okay. So from here, nice and simple, nothing too crazy, okay? We're just going to get into the wrist quickly, okay? So obviously we're going to be doing some work on our hands. Obviously back bridges we're going to have to have our hands on the ground. And when we think about, back bridge as a big picture, the first limiting factor for most people isn't their spine or shoulders, it's their ability to just put their hands on the ground, so their wrists. So just a very, very basic, thumbs are going to be together, heel of the palms are going to come together. So effectively, we're going to create this, whatever this bird, butterfly thing is, okay? From here, hands are going to be on the ground. And then we're going to show the pits of the elbows forward. So again, I'm externally rotating out the shoulders. We're going to press the world away. And then I want to see how far you can lean forward without losing the shoulders, okay? So we're pushing the world away. The bum is tucked underneath us as well. And then we're going to throw a big kick-ass circle going one way, meet of the forward plane, and then we'll reverse that circle. Just nice and simple, nothing too crazy. We're just starting to now load different portions of the hand, okay? Remember, the reason we have to have those fingers nice and spread is because that allows us to increase the surface area, okay? So our base of support dramatically increases, which means we can be more stable. Therefore, we can translate more strength work, okay, or more force through those areas. So we start to kind of practice those little things, even in small movements like this. Nice and simple, nothing too crazy. One last one, please. Make sure the shoulders are still pushing the world away, and then back it off. From here, we're going to go fingers back towards our knees, okay? And the same thing, we're gonna push the world away as much as possible. We can tuck the bottom underneath us, so we go to a little PPT or posterior tilt, and then we're just gonna rock forwards and backwards, which is going to stretch out the front of the forearms a little bit, okay? And then what we're gonna do here, guys, is come back and sit back into that first line of strain. And then you're gonna allow yourself to peel the heel of your palm up off the ground as you bend the elbows back towards your hips, okay? As you do that, you can allow the shoulders to fall forward a little bit, and then boom, press the ground away, round the upper back. Let's repeat this process 4 more times. So again, bend the elbows back as the shoulders go forward. You can peel the heel of your palms up, and then boom, press away. 2. Now, if you're really cheeky, you can just shuffle side to side of that end range and then press the world away. This is 3. 4, last one. 5, and shake it off. From here, just the last one that we're going to do here, guys, okay, is just a lateral push-up. So we're effectively going to go into back of the wrist here, okay? And again, we're just going to do 5 reps. And because I want to keep everybody on the same wavelength, what I want to make sure here, guys, is often when we do this, okay, so one critical thing to understand is when we're kind of back onto our bum, okay, or back onto the heels, there's little to no weight going through the wrist, right? It's not as loaded. Obviously, the hands being further away from us means there's more load going through the wrist. So choose the intensity that is appropriate for you. So where you can do the work, where you can feel a slight discomfort, okay, so slight challenge, but it shouldn't be so much that you can't do the work, all right? Obviously, on the other side to that, if you're just, doing it without no load, then you're not going to get any change either. So choose the right intensity. What we want to do here is wrists are going to be about shoulder width apart or maybe a little bit closer. And then from here, we're going to slowly look at my wrist, okay? I'm going to slowly come to the side. And then I'm going to allow my elbows to flare out as my chest comes in between the hands. And I'm going to push up back onto the knuckles. So one more time, I'm going to slowly roll out, let the elbows flare out, and then boom, drive up and through, okay? Now, the first portion, when we are doing this part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to count to 3, okay? 1, 2, 3. So that first motion is going to be slow and controlled. So you can actually feel as much of a surface area as possible. You can load as much surface area as possible. Okay, so go slow and controlled. Here we go. And 3, 2, 1. Chest comes down. Push it up. Boom. And 3, 2, 2. 3, 2, 3. 3, 2, 4. 3, 2, 5. And rest. Okay, nice and simple. That's it. Okay, so one last work for the hip before we get busy with our main event. Okay, so we're gonna go, we did the super couch. We introduced that kind of pulsing motion a little bit too. Now we're gonna kind of do that, okay, freestanding. So these are long step pulses. And what I want you to think about here is there's 2 ways you can get into this. So for the front splits, in the last block, we did the knee raise. Remember, in this position, we raise the back knee up, drive the hips back, and trying to create that length in the back leg, right? If you look at this position at the top, you can see my heels, my front heel is slightly forward. And that's what we want, because that way we can drive our knees a little bit forward. Okay, as we do that, my back heel is dropping back. So effectively, we're creating this sort of lengthening action, right? My front knee is going forward, my back heel is going back, and obviously I'm going to drop down, okay? Same idea, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to wiggle back. The key thing here is, again, I'm going to have my spine vertical. So again, if you have to super arch your back, it's probably going to go into the lower back. Okay, so make sure you're in a position where you can maintain some sort of spinal integrity through the lower back. And that happens by making sure the butt is on at all times. So you should be able to feel this contracted, meaning it should be tense. Now, when we're here, we're going to do the same thing. Drive the knees, drop the heel. And then we're going to just bounce like so. Now, no one should be struggling for balance. The reason being, if the butt's on, we should be stable. Okay, if it switches off, that's when we start to kind of go all over the show. Okay, so we're just going to do 60 pulses per side. Okay, this is only one set. Okay, good luck to you. Okay, here we go. Which side? I'll go this way. Okay, so let's take a step back, choose a range. Okay, movements of your feet nice and strong, drive the knees forward, posture, drive the back heel back. And let's bounce. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, boom. Okay. As always, the exit strategy is totally up to you, okay? Now, you probably found as you are pulsing, as the body yields a little bit, you can probably make those micro adjustments and get a little bit longer. So don't be scared to do that as well. I tend to just shuffle my feet a little bit further and further back as my body allows me to go deeper, okay? That's the side I stretched. Okay, so it's this side. Okay, so here we go. Position, okay? Drive your knees forward. Push the back heel back. As you do that, you will see the legs want to straighten at the back. Glutes are on, facing forward. Let's bounce. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60. And boom. Okay. Hopefully, everybody's limbs belong to them. Quick drink of water, guys. Okay. That is all the preparatory work done. We're going to go into, oh, the sun is bright. Beautiful. We're going to go into our back bend work and our horse stance. Good morning for our middle split. Okay. So I'll lead with this, okay? So similar to what we did last week, this particular back bend work, or anything with the spine, like we said right at the start, whenever we do the spine work, we talk about go slow because spine likes to go a little bit slow, okay? That way we can create a little bit more awareness and hopefully a little bit more control through each segment, each vertebra of the spine, right? Often what happens is, you know, most of us, our spine works in chunks and blocks, right? So we move quite a lot from the lower back, not enough from the upper, and that's why we feel stiff. So whenever we try do things from the upper back, because this is not moving, guess what? Things down here tend to do overwork, right? This is why we feel cranked. So just have that in mind, right? So when we do this, we're layering things up. We're not trying to set a PB, right? So it's a slow, gradual work. We're going to be doing 4 sets of these. And the first thing, like anything, we need to understand what is it that we're trying to do. So rather than forcing ourselves, okay, we're going to try to figure out. So if you haven't done this kind of work before, make sure you take your time and layer things up, okay? Just be patient with it, sit with it, okay? The first component is like the coordination. Coordination is the biggest thing, okay? So we're going to start, okay? Just watch me first. We're going to start in this quadruple position, okay? So effectively, you know, hands and knees, right? Now from here, the best way, okay, to kind of go into this is the side that we're going to stabilize on, we're going to turn the hands, okay? So from forwards, the hand orientation changes because we know as we do that, the shoulder orientation kind of changes as well, right? So effectively, we're going to be doing boom. Now, from here, we're going to, same side that we turn the hands on, we're going to take a step through. Now, it's critical. My butt is going to be working all the time. I'm going to draw a circle through the top hand, look at the hand, try come down, and then bang. Leg comes through, knees on the ground. Then we're going to go to the other side. Again, my hands turn. I'm going to step through. Now, this is important. We are creating this circle. So I like to point, and I'm going to look at that hand as I push away. Slow, controlled, and back through. Now, before anybody starts, okay, this is what often tends to happen. Okay, we do the right thing from the hands. We even take the step through. We even switch the butt up. But now, because the rotation is not happening at the shoulders, people tend to do this. Now, this is just extension, right? So one more time, okay, from a view, you can see it. Boom, boom. If you just do this, there is no rotation here, right? I'm not gonna move anywhere. So think about this movement, this rotation of the spine is happening, okay, because when I step through, most of my weight, like your tabletop, is going to go onto your legs, and then we're gonna have the space to create that rotation, okay? Now, obviously, our contact hand on the ground and our shoulders has to be strong, stable, right? And if we're not as mobile or flexible, well, we're just gonna be cranking things up. This is why, don't try set a PB. Just trust the process. You will feel better set by set, rep by rep, okay? So let's just do 2 reps per side, okay? Here we go. So hands turn. We're gonna step through. We're gonna look at that finger. Pause, slow control down, and down with the hands. Knees. Fingers point back. Boom. We're going to push the world away. Boom. Okay, so again, turn the hands where you need them to. Step through, draw that circle. And one last one. Keep it going. Okay, okay. Once you're done, just sit up. Okay, first one we survived. We'll come back and lay a next layer onto that, okay, in the next set. For now, we'll come onto our feet. We'll go into our horse stance. Good morning. This is pretty straightforward, okay? Most of you should be aware of this. What we're gonna do is feet are gonna be under the hips initially, or even closer, sorry. We're gonna flick the heels out first, so 1. Then we're gonna go 2, 3, 4, 5. In that 5th one, we should roughly give or take have our feet facing forward. From here, we're gonna allow the knees to travel forward as we sit down as low as we can from the sit bones, okay? Okay, so from side view, no one's kind of really doing a squat, right? We are coming straight down. We're trying to pull the knees back behind the hip line. Impossible, but imagine you're going to do that using your butt. From here, place one hand onto the lower back, one hand onto the chest, and then we're gonna hinge at the hips. Keep pulling your knees back into the sides. Get the sit bones heavy and drive the hips through as you posture up. This is gonna be 1. Here we go. Hinge, get heavy, pull your knees back, drive your hips forward, staying nice and low. 2. 3. 4. We're going to take a pause here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drive forward, posture up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drive up all the way and rest. Okay, so from here, we're going to go into our high bridge rotation again. And this time what we're going to do here, guys, is as we rotate, as we look at the hand, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, and then revert back. Okay, so what we're effectively going to do now is take a little pause, okay, on the back end. So just so everybody's on the same wavelength, what I'm asking you to do here is we're going to turn, create that circle, and then try get heavy, try to come down towards the ground for 3, 2, 1. Boom. One more time, change hands, create that circle. 1, 2, 3. Come through, okay? Let's have a go, okay? I'm gonna have a look at what you guys are doing. Let's see it. Okay, so bend your knees, lift your hips up. This is really, really important, right? So you're going on more into your feet. So you can raise the heels off, okay? Fingers should be spread. Look at that hand or the fingers that are reaching up and around. Lift your bum up, boom, okay? Now, if you're thinking you're feeling stuck, turn your hands a little bit further around. That's gonna help you orient the shoulders in a better position. But you have to be strong and stable, so it may limit your rotation. Okay, make sure you travel forward onto your legs. So Sean, make sure you drive your knees more forward next time as you rotate. Okay, it's a little bit too late at the top. Okay, 2 per side, guys. Same thing with your chest. Okay, we're going into more of an extension. Okay, yeah, it's a little bit too late at the top. Okay, so again, just have once you're done, just have a quick look at this. Okay, so effectively, if I just kind of show you a rotation, right? Most of us, when we have the hands through, when we kick through, if we're more onto our hands, it's very, very hard to rotate. Yeah, and this, look, my legs become straighter and I'm more falling forwards. I feel compromising. Make sure you are, okay, away. So look, I am almost pushing the ground away from me. This is gonna allow me to rotate a lot better. Yeah? Anyway, we'll do that on the next set. Let's come onto our feet. Let's go to that horse stance. Here we go. Feet together. We'll flick the heels out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sinking down, posture. Knees are being pulled back, sit bones are dropping even further. And let's hinge and drive forward. 1. 2. 3. 4. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drive up. Boom. Okay, shake it off. And again, we're going to go into our high bridge. Okay, just have a quick rest. Okay, so just a quick reminder. Okay, so everybody's okay. When we come up, look at this hand. Don't be half-assed. Just because you do this doesn't mean it's going to be a bigger turn. Like literally, maybe face the hand back behind you. From there, when you pop the knees off, look, drive your legs, but then you need to use the butt. Push. Okay. We're still going to count for 3 seconds at the back. Once you're ready, let's give it a crack. Here we go. Boom. Boom. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 2. 3, 2, 3. Okay. Once you've done 2 reps, stand on your feet. So I know you guys are done. Okay. Then we'll go to our 3rd set of our horse stance. Here we go, feet together, heels out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to drop down, pull the knees back. So again, you should be using your butt at the back to open your knees out to the sides past your hips. And hands and hinge. 1. 2. 3. 4. Pause. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drive up. Shake it off. We have 1 last set, good people. Okay. 2 reps. Okay, what I'm going to do is, I want to blow this up so I can then see you what you guys are doing too. Okay, so gallery view. All right. Okay, 2 reps. Let's do this. Go for it. Let's have a look. Boom. Yeah, nice, Janice. Nice, John. Okay. Woo. Okay. Nice, Sean. Let's go to horse stance. One last one. Let's bring it. Let's bring it, bring it, bring it. Okay, so as we do this last one, guys, what the invitation is here, okay? So we're gonna go into our 5-step like we normally do, but rather than hinging forwards and backwards, we're going to slowly creep our feet out as wide as possible. And your objective, okay, when I get to my end range, I'm gonna count for a total of 15 seconds. We're gonna hold 15 seconds of our widest middle split, okay? But the way we're gonna enter it is through this horse stance, okay? Hang on, hang on. Let me have a look. All right, guys, let's do this. Let's do this. I need my timer, it's good. Okay, so feet are together. And then we're gonna flick the heels out first for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna sink down first. So now my torso is as vertical as possible. From here, rather than hinging forwards and backwards, now we're going to allow the feet to walk out, okay? The hips are in a place where they need to be. Toes are still hopefully facing somewhat forward. We're going to go as wide as possible without falling forward. And we're gonna hang out here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exit strategy, okay, is up to you. Bring it in, guys, bring it in. Let's have a Gary, let's have a chat. How's everybody feeling?
Yeah.
We good?
That's really good.
We alive?
Yeah.
Touchdown for the first time in a long time.